President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy continue their debt ceiling negotiations, the two meeting as the U.S. is potentially days away from defaulting on its debt for the first time. On Monday, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that it's highly likely the Treasury will be able to pay the country's bills by June 1st if a deal isn't reached. Both the President and House Speaker are optimistic that they can reach a deal before that deadline. If both sides agree to a deal, it still must get through a divided Congress. And if a deal isn't reached, what does that mean for my family and yours?
Well, the answer to those questions are important to all of us because in the end, the answer could determine if we can make ends meet.
Wave News anchor Dawne Gee is here to explain. Dawn.
All right, so John and Myra, this is not some technical, abstract thing that politicians in Washington are fighting about that has nothing to do with everyday American households. The outcome of what happens to the debt ceiling has the potential to affect the stock market, pensions, military payouts, and a whole lot more.
The debt ceiling is basically the maximum amount of money that the government can borrow to pay for its bills.
Marcus Warren, financial planner and investment advisor, is passionate about making financial concepts easy to understand.
When you have a credit card, you generally have a max limit. And after you hit that max limit, then you generally can't spend any more money to pay for things, pay for bills.
As the American government gets very close to that max limit, the bills keep coming in and money is needed to keep the nation operating.
They always go back to their credit card company and they say, hey, credit card company, can I get an increase in the amount I'm allowed to borrow?
The USA does not deal with American Express, Discover, or Capital One.
In this case, it's Congress.
Congress regularly suspends or raises the debt limit so the U.S. can borrow more. But lawmakers are at an impasse, meaning the government could default on its debt as soon as June 1st.
All these countries, they buy our debt. They buy our government bonds that we issue. And that's basically them loaning us money.
Individual investors, institutions, foreign governments buy U.S. Treasury bonds.
All countries issue bonds, but we are the safest bet because we have the best credit rating of paying that bond back.
That would change if we default on our debt. Like the average American citizen who defaults on a debt, America's credit score would change. America's default would also hurt Americans.
Interest rates continue to go up. There's volatility in the stock market. And then the most important thing, when we hit that debt limit, if we happen to default on our current debts, then a lot of payments won't go out because we're not able to take any more money in or borrow any more money.
As a list of some of the monthly obligations that may not be met: Social Security benefits, Medicare benefits, payer benefits for active duty military members, civil service, and military retirees.
This may seem something far away in Washington, but it has a direct impact and can have a direct impact at your home, in your pocketbook, in your household.
So according to the Department of Treasury, Congress has raised, extended, revised the debt limit 78 separate times since 1960. 49 times were under Republican presidents, 29 were under Democratic presidents. In 2011, just hours before a government default, the debt ceiling was raised, but there was still damage done. Getting so close to the edge of the default and all the uncertainty surrounding that issue, it did lead to the first ever downgrade of the U.S. government's credit rating by Standard & Poor's. Helping you understand how we keep making ends meet when it comes to the debt ceiling, I'm Dawne Gee.